Okay. Audio, everything should be all good, and I will go ahead and give us a quick rundown on what happened last time, where we are, and what's going on. So, last time we started with you all on the road, a small 3-cart caravan made up of your own and 2 other groups who you had saved from being robbed the previous evening, as well as intentions at least of saving them from the bandit ambush that was just set up ahead. Either way, you approached, seeing a few of these kind of would-be bandits gating both sides of the road. They were doing a very poor attempt at looking casual. On approach, one would even try to gain your confidence, claiming that they had been attacked along the road and they needed help. For you, though, you knew what to expect, and even had they come with an absolutely amazing performance, in this moment they would have never tricked you. You knew what was set here. You'd already gotten the information. There was no chance of you falling victim to the ambush. And so, deciding to throw caution to the wind, you all jumped into the fray of combat. A larger group of the bandits slinking out from behind the massive boulder and tree that bordered the road forward. Rushing into battle, it would seem these bandits were kind of basically no match for you all, easily being dispatched and falling to your blades before Shad would spread a sudden blight nearest a group, quickly draining 3 of their life. The single bandit left with his life, having been ordered to release something just behind the boulder, was able just in time to scurry away. This gave you all a few moments to ready yourselves for what was to come next. And as you set yourself wherever you could, you'd hear iron chains pop before this massive ogre glutton would reveal itself. You all fought valiantly, flanking the creature on many sides and hacking away at it before Hercian seemingly felled the giant beast. As the rest of you all went around, checking the stone, spreading out in various directions, Hercian would have approached, looking to take the massive axe that the beast was wielding. Just then, the creature would spring back into consciousness, hacking viciously back at Hercian and dropping him in an instant. The battle would continue, rest of you jumping back into the fray, striking and hacking at the creature. Unfortunately, though, it would have taken much of this damage and stood over Hercian, raising its massive axe and delivering 2 devastating chops down onto his body, putting him down for good. The creature didn't stay up much longer, finally falling completely to an attack from Ignis. You would have all searched the bodies, ensured the path forward was clear, and made the deal with the gatherers for the rest of the reagents and medicinal spellcasting herbs that you'd been gathering up along the way. And so, now continuing forward with a wagon full of, essentially a wagon's fortune full of all of these components, and nothing but Valdiras in the future. That is where we pick up the body of Hercian wrapped in one of the white tent tarps from the back, to ensure that the blood and the everything else didn't intermingle with the herbs that you'd been collecting the entire time. And so that is where we pick up. Let me go ahead and get some music going. Should be good to go. So, all right. Jeez. Okay. All right. So, as you start on back along the path, you've got these horses that have been fed with the herbs that you've been collecting this entire time. These are quite let's see, quite potent, and you've recently come along to the information that the value of these is much further beyond than you really had anticipated. And so, yeah, these super horses, essentially, right? These massive, extremely powerful and fast traveling horses. You all continue off, pulling the cart along at a speed that is, at some times, you know, when you have to make a turn and kind of have to bend with the natural lay of the road, it feels a bit scary, right? It feels like maybe the wagon would upturn a bit. You know, maybe it wasn't. Maybe a wagon like this wasn't built to go this fast, right? This is. There are times in travel that you're feeling like, whoa, you know, you gotta really kind of settle the horses as best as you can, because they are moving at a pace that is, yeah, seemingly unfit for the wagon, but it holds up. Either way, you continue along. So, I guess the three of you here, roll me a perception check. All right. So, Shad, where is Shad's mind to be so preoccupied with the path forward? You know, instead of focusing on all the things around you, it seems in this moment you're focused on something else. What is that one thing that Shad is focused on?
Shad is mindful of the things that he's learnt on the road, especially crossing paths with his own master. Shad wants to try something out. They're carrying a handy body with them, so maybe that's why Shad's a bit distracted.
You're fighting the urge, maybe, or trying to figure out a way. I guess you could, right?
Well, Ignis has got his eye. Ignis has got his eye on Shad and Hersian, so yeah, Shad's trying to think of a way of distracting Ignis.
Fair enough. So, thinking of that, absolutely. And so, Ignis and Escucho, the two of you, you've passed this ambush. You've slayed this large beast of an ogre, and come out of it. I mean, so far, at least for one of you, the path has been very different, right? For Ignis, I mean, it's been full of injury and pain, right? When you get the chance to finally get home and get a chance to rest off some of this pain, you know, you will have earned a number of scars associated with just this trip alone, right? And for Escucho, what was set to be just kind of like a path back, you know, just a job, right? Kind of at the start of all of this, seems to, in its way, kind of be associated with this path back to maybe belief, maybe a religious vigor that was inside of you, that had maybe calmed since the last events of your chosen people, right? Now kind of reignited, and you have this wagon full of an extreme absurd wealth that you'll be able to put to great use as you see fit, you know, moving forward. So the two of you are, for your own reasons, whether they be for a moment of happiness or a moment of, you know, just extreme caution, both of you are very alert to your surroundings. And as you start along the road, it quickly becomes crowded. There's, you know, one wagon passes, two wagons, and then more and more and more. And it seems as perfect timing, just as you are making your way back to Valdiras, it seems the crowd has been alerted to the presence of Valdis, as the people who are crossing the opposite way are all, you know, gatherers, people looking for an opportunity to, you know, to search these herbs, right? to make their own fortune as best as they can. Thankfully, none of them are among the robbing or violent sort, right? So on the path back to Valdiras, you never get stopped along the way, you never get harassed or bothered. If anything, just every now and then people will kind of, ask like, hey, what's they see that you have a nice wagon full of this stuff, so they would ask, where to find, good amounts of it, right? Maybe off the path, maybe where others wouldn't expect, just kind of, because you're heading back with enough, right? You've got yours. There's no need to hide. But in a sense, you essentially just kind of followed the path, right? There's no real secret to it. And so I would say, or ask rather, as the two of you make your way closer and closer to Valdiras, the horse is traveling at a pace that is unbeaten. What is rocking in the mind of both Escucho or Ignis?
Well, Escucho certainly had his faith reignited. He had felt forsaken for quite a long time, because after the battle in the valley, where his order was more or less destroyed, or at least dispersed.
Yeah.
He definitely felt quite kind of lonely. He met a few people, got a few business contracts, got some guys, but these are not his people. And now where he heard the good news from the mouth of the solemn directly, he's definitely looking forward to the future, which he hasn't done for quite some time. Yet at the same time, a comrade to him has passed away, for the in-game Escucho a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
So definitely he feels down in the moment, but he's very looking forward to the future. He sees his future, and his mind can only be bright.
Fair enough. All right. And for Ignis?
So let's see. For Ignis, the situation is that, for him, he's kind of reflecting on what he's been through. And for him, he's, again, even before he went on this journey, he had his ambition and sense of purpose, and that was kind of rocked by repeatedly dying. But he's kind of trying to put that behind him in the sense that, these are I'm gonna wear some battle scars now, that I've been blooded in the field, and I know how to handle myself, and I made it out alive. So he's kind of reassuring himself of that, and at the same time he's kind of, I'd say, plotting, kind of trying to figure out how to use this bounty that he's returning with to his advantage, to cement his position in the order or increase his standing and influence. And he's slowly kind of also he's making notes of the people he's been traveling with. Again, he's happy he's alive, but at the same time his situation is that these are people he traveled with, but they're not necessarily people he would be comfortable associating with once he's back in Valdiras, right? Because again, Chad is a huge liability. Escucho is a liability, but again, he's not a very public kind of person anyway. And Tarsian's dead, so there's that.
Yeah.
So for him, he's just kind of figuring out what his responsibilities are to this group. Just make sure to discharge that efficiently, and then just focus on getting back to the order and using this achievement to kind of improve his standing, increase his stature, and just give himself a level up kind of in terms of in terms of where he is in the hierarchy.
Yeah, of the order that you were.
Yeah, and use some of the information that he's gathered about what he's seen and about his companions, and just kind of file that away to kind of figure out how to use that again to further his own standing and stature, basically. So he's kind of looking to the future. He's reassuring himself that, yeah, you know what, you got dealt bad hands, you survived. So you survived this, and he's just kind of reassuring himself that he can make it through worse if he needs to. But he's really not looking forward to getting back into the field unless he has some much better protection and training.
Absolutely. So Yeah, so with all of this stuff kind of on your minds, right? You continue on the path, making great time back to the city of Valdiras. You know, we'll say that a couple of days of quick travel during the day and safe camping in the evening affords you that much. And so it isn't long before you are cresting over the final hill that would reveal to you, you know, down below the city of Valdiras, right? Familiar to you, familiar enough to you all, right? More familiar to some, but in any case, the city lies before you. You have many options. You have much that you can do. And so, as you make your way back into the city, greeted by the familiar iron rods at the gate, they would call on you to stop, right, and search the wagon. So, as this happens, as you are called to a stop, one of the guards, one of these iron rods, specifically, as you look at him, he has a bit of status. The rod that he wields, on one edge of it has what appears to be kind of like a golden finish to it. This is a very common way for these iron rods to kind of separate themselves in rank, right? So this one is someone of import. Based on past experiences with them, seeing this, you would assume that he's probably like a commander of some sort, right? Has some sway and control over the way the city guards itself. His badge says dread. Jesus Christ. Yeah. But and so he'll kind of step in, you know. You have to come to a stop no matter what, right? There's no way getting in. There's no way of getting into the city without passing, you know, some form of guard. At least, you know, in the way that you need to, right? With all of the material that you have in the wagon.
Let's see. I think we're still on the wagon, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So I guess Ignis would probably dismount. He's still pretty wounded, but I think he has probably like a writ or a letter or something from his order that mentions that he's a member of the order, and like, before they went off, I'm sure they would have gotten something like that on them. So he would pull that out and just hold it up for inspection, saying this: we're headed back to the order of the grave scribes, and returning with supplies as demanded by the order.
Yeah, he'll take a look at it.
We've traveled far and survived much.
Yeah, it looks like looks like you've had quite the journey. He kind of
very deadly journey. We're carrying one of my team is dead. So
I see.
Once we reach the order, we'll arrange last rites for him and passage back to his homeland.
Fair enough. Is that all that you have in the wagon?
That is basically it. You know, we're here a little faster, I think, but there will be more wagons behind us with similar supplies.
Of course, we're aware.
They'll have different destinations, but as such, we're headed to our order, and after this, these are our. I return to the order. The rest of my team gets paid, and then they'll go their ways wherever they need to.
Kind of nods and quickly takes a glance at the parchment that you pass over, right? That you know, says what you are, right? Kind of looking past it. Give me a perception check, since you are kind of down here, up in his face, right? You've passed it over to him. 18. Yeah. As he takes a look at this, you can tell he's kind of like brushing it aside, Like he barely gave it any kind of recognition. He barely gave it much attention as he kind of took a look at the page and then kind of quickly folded it between his fingers and kind of stuffed it down a pocket. Well, perfect then. So you wouldn't have an issue with me taking a look, would you?
Well, the issue wouldn't be mine. Again, we're not simple traders here. At the end of the day, the wagon belongs to the order, and if there are any inconsistencies, I'm answerable to my masters.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you're welcome to look, but please don't. I'd say don't disturb too much of what's been arranged in there.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, the wagon belongs to the order. The order is a member of the city, and as such, all imports are taxed, as you know. And you can give me a history check on this if you would like. I guess anybody here could give me a history check on this. You've all been in the city long enough. I guess you could also look for the deception check here if you would like. Just
Shad
Oh,
would
yeah.
love to do his deception check.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like let's just look over at Chad and just.
Well, I mean,
sorry. I mean perception unless you have lie to me, which means you can use deception.
All right.
well, Shad does have lied to me.
Yeah, sorry.
Just
And when you say history, do you mean like society or like? I don't
No,
think
it
that's
would be no, I think like in this instance it's like whether this is a factually correct statement. So you could be looking like perception to see if he's lying to you, or you could history would be like trying to find the
I just meant that history doesn't exist as a check in
it's
Pathfinder.
society
yeah.
check.
right,
Society,
yeah,
yeah.
society.
Society or
I'm an idiot. Yeah.
But Shad's used his deception because of the lie to me.
Fair
I would
enough.
just, like perception to see if he's honest.
Yeah, perception to see if he's honest. Okay. So for Ignis and Scucho, it seems pretty honest. Yeah.
sorry, I rolled again.
It's all
But yeah,
right.
okay.
So for for Ignis and Scucho, he is speaking to you very matter of fact, right? Shad, yeah, I mean, you've heard the words of many liars, so for you, it's there's no escaping this. There is probably some truth to this, but this is not the way that this is done, right? It is not collected by the iron rods at the right at the gate, anything like that. Any type of tax or whatever would come from directly from the city to the order itself, right? There would be, the order would have to essentially notify the city what they have, right? Basically like an audit, right? So in this instance, he's lying, but he's not necessarily lying, but he is lying about it needing to be done right now, right? But you get the feeling like he's absolutely looking to kind of maybe shake you down just a little bit.
Okay. Just to cover his bases, when you use message, you don't have to actually speak the words. It's all like a mental message.
I believe so.
Let's have a quick look.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it works exactly in this in Pathfinder. I'd have to read the
It
text.
says you mouth words quietly, but instead of coming out of your mouth, they transfer directly into the ears of the target.
Yeah, I'd say that
Right,
works pretty similar, right? Because you can kind of just like lowly mouth something, really
Right.
fast.
I think for this to sort of work within the where we are, can you just describe where we are on the cart, who's on which side of the cart, and which side the guard is on? Otherwise, it's
Fair
going to
enough.
depend on whether this is going to work.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, actually, it doesn't matter because
Huh.
Shad's covered in a mask. Can't see
Yeah.
his lips anyway. So, Shad will use message to Ignis and say, this guy's lying, but I don't know about what. Just follow my lead. And Shad will step down off the cart and just and he'll leave his shovel behind, and he'll just approach the guard with his hands out would you mind? Would you mind if I just have a quiet word with yourself, good sir?
As it pertains to the business of the wagon, absolutely.
Oh yes, of course, of course. And maybe we should just step away from my two fine companions for the time being. Just so we can we can have a quiet private word between two men of the world such as ourselves.
Gives you kind of like a funny look here. He'll take 2 steps to the side and then plant his feet. Here's fine. So, what is it you want to speak about?
Very well, sir. By your own comfort. Well, this just got me thinking. You may work out from my accent. I'm not a native to these parts, but I have learnt quite a lot in my time in this fine city about the ways and means of law and order as such. And I find myself noticing a few inconsistencies right now with our current situation. Now, I do not mean to question your devotion and your duty as such, but I wonder, without involving others, if we may be able to smooth the water a little.
How do you intend to do so?
Well, it just so happens that I have my own personal small supply of some of the items on this cart about my person right here and now. And if that would settle the matter, I would be happy to hand you over a generous contribution to the city as it stands. And with that, Shad will take out one of the pouches, from the handfuls that he grabbed and put in his pockets, and he will show him the contents. Would this be of any use to the city, as it were?
Yeah, absolutely. That is, yes. I think that'd be plenty.
Well, thank you. And you do your organization a great credit in your understanding and empathy towards the working man. Please take this back to your superiors as our contribution.
Indeed, I will. And you'll take it from your hand and kind of quickly slip it into his armor. Kind of straighten himself up. Well then, it seems everything is in order as he kind of turns and looks to the rest of you. I hope you all have a fine day and find yourselves enjoying the comfort of the city. Thank you all. And he'll kind of give you like a brief smile and with a motion of the head essentially nod to the other guards at the gate to open and clear the path for you to continue on. Go ahead, Shad.
And as we move on, when Shad judges they're out of earshot, Shad is going to say quietly under his breath, "Okay, boys, I got us out of the shakedown, but you boys owe me now."
You do tell the funniest stories, Chad. Always. And the Scrooge just chuckles a little bit. Always. Oh, you're always joking around. Good friend.
This just may be like, sure. Just add it to my ledger.
Fair enough. All right. So, having made your way into the city without trouble, you've been able to, at the very least, able to work out a deal, right? That made it so that you kept the majority of what you had in the cart. While smoothing things over, as it was said, with the iron rod in charge. And so, you make your way into the city of Valdiras. It is as if nothing has changed in your time away. The city continues to bustle. There are people up and down the streets. The activity of the city continues on as it ever did. And so, as you've arrived, for some of you back home, but for others, just the stopping point on the path forward, or whatever comes next. What direction are you headed in first? Are you headed back to the Order of the Grave Scribes? That's where not only the order, but also the
I think Lorenzo was there as well.
Yeah, Lorenzo, right? the contact for your way to essentially sell off this mass amount of reagents and medicinal and spellcasting herbs. So, do you head back to the Order of the Grave Scribes? Do you head back to Lorenzo's shop? Maybe something has happened in the meantime there? What's going on?
And Ignis is going to recommend to head back to the Order because it's probably going to be the safest place to offload these. Because Lorenzo's shop's been hit once, and like there's no guarantee it's the safest place to be. And they're carrying like a lot of valuable goods at this point. So, and again, he wants, even if the deal is brokered with Lorenzo, he still wants the Order to be facilitating the deal, kind of.
One thing I want to remind you of, because the characters wouldn't have forgotten this.
Yep.
The bandit that you had caught trying to, sneak their way and steal from the back of the cart and all of that.
Oh yeah, his contact was Lorenzo.
His contact.
Yeah, his contact was Lorenzo. Yeah, he mentioned like Lorenzo will buy anything or something like that.
He offered it up that Lorenzo would buy anything that they had. Exactly.
Well, that's not the only thing. Shad, Lorenzo owes Shad a favor, and Shad wants to cash in on his favors.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he's carrying a whole bunch of chits. He's carrying a whole bunch of IOUs.
Yeah, they're all coming in at the right time. Perfect.
Okay, well, Shad's going to pipe up and says, "Well now, Doctor, I understand you wanting to go back to your employer and all, but who exactly is paying for all this? I hope you're not planning on doing a midnight flit on us. Besides, I came out on this job for one reason only, and that was to get paid."
We're in the city of laws. You realize that. Fraud would see the Order disbanded. So
do you not understand what just happened?
Yes. That's different.
What?
You're talking about petty shakedowns versus, again, don't worry your head about it for now. Let's get back to our Order, and I'll make sure you're all paid.
How about this for an idea? And Shad's looking out to see if there's any what's the word? Vagrants, but you're street rats, kids,
the
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Shad's gonna just point at one, any of them. Just goes, You there! Would you fancy making a couple of copper?
One of them will kind of, not suddenly being called out, will kind of look around, and then myself, and then they'll kind of like rush up next to the cart and close to you.
Can you run fast?
Indeed I can.
Very good. I'll tell you what, here's a copper. You're going to flick him a copper. He says, do you know where... actually, no, before he does that. Do you know where this fella Lorenzo's shop is?
No.
No. Well...
If you tell me where it is...
Aren't you a peach? Yeah. Does Shad know where... Yeah, because Shad knows.
Yeah.
Shad will describe where Lorenzo's... And do you know where that is?
Yeah, I can find it.
Right. Here's a copper. Go find this man Lorenzo. Bring him to... our
He's
fine
not-
doctor's place.
He's not
Describe.
at the shop. He's at the order. Remember, we left him
Then-
there to be protected.
And if he's
Unless
not
he
at
left.
Well, don't worry about Doctor. If he's at the order, then I've only lost a few copper. If he's at his shop, we're going to get him to the order. Do you see where I'm coming from? Work with me now.
I'm working
help
with
me,
you,
Help
but
me, help
You leave
you.
the wagon
Help
at the
me.
order first.
Help
Yes,
you.
yes, of course. I'll help you. Help me. No problem.
Help you, help me, help you.
Yes. We're all
Right,
helping each
right.
other.
Please, young sir, please ignore my idiot friend. Now, if you find Lorenzo at the shop, bring him to the order, and I will give you 2 more copper when you get there. If he's not there, you've still got a copper, and you've not lost anything. I tell you what the hell, come to the order anyway, and I'll give you 2 copper, just for trying. As long as I find this man Lorenzo at one of those places.
Fair enough. I'll see you at the order. Yeah, you flick him the copper, and he immediately goes scurrying away. And so, with one avenue of potentially running into this, or potentially getting, Lorenzo, right? Trying to, Shad's intentions here, right, are to cash out immediately. So, they'll head that way. Escucho.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, from like Escucho's general knowledge, and like Ignis can maybe tell me more about it. Like, what reputation does the order have? Like, are they armed, or like were they involved in the campaign against the against my order? like any of these informations, I would be interested in.
Yeah, trying to the order of the grave scribe and stuff like that. Like, trying to see if any of them had any direct
Yeah, like both. Did they had like, any direct connection to the insurgency, I guess, and if they are like a militant group, or if there's like anything like fishy about them that I like remember seeing.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, based on the description that Ice has given me for the Order of the Grave Scribes, I don't think that they would have had, like, I don't even know if we have to make a roll here. I don't think they would have ever had any kind of involvement in that stuff, right? I think the majority of conflict that came directly from the city of Valdiras would have been with the Order of the Gilded Hand specifically, right? So I don't think that I don't think that the Grave Scribes would have had any involvement in that conflict. As far as Lorenzo or anything like that, I'm not entirely sure. Go ahead and roll me a society check, or I would say probably society. Something like Lorenzo or anything like that. Maybe in that they probably went to a shop like Lorenzo's to resupply, but I guess it depends on how seriously would take that offense, right? Working with the Order of the Gilded Hand, which essentially runs the city of Valdiras, so there's not much choice there in the first place, but basically every resource in the city is a resource to the Gilded Hand, so there's a way that you could kind of justify everything in the city being an enemy because they all worked with the Gilded Hand, right? And so in part they all worked against your order, right? Your faction. But I'm not sure how Escucho feels, right? You would have to clarify.
I was more so wondering if the Order of the Grey Scribes is like very like politically active, or is like amassing like wealth or power. Like, do I have reason to believe that they would just like seize the cart and just like pay me squat?
In this case, I'd probably say, like, they're not a major order, like the way I kind of conceive them. So, like, they're mostly, let's say, like, they're scholars and like archaeologists, kind of like they're trying to improve their standing within the city itself. Like, they're not a martial order, let's say, and like they don't have police powers like the Iron Rods. So, and like at this point, I'd probably say Ignis is probably one of the more martially inclined ones, but he's not high ranking at this point. He's probably like mid-junior level, as I planned. I don't know if Trill has further input on this. but the kind of backstory was just like they're mostly trying to gather artifacts and knowledge and use that to kind of like that's their domain basically, like knowledge and like artifacts, magic, that kind of stuff. Not so much like sword and board stuff, if that tracks.
Yeah, all right. Then Escucho would like say, like wondering out aloud. I do wonder if either the Order or Lorenzo even have the liquid capital lying around to give you, Chad, what you so desire so quickly. We have a wagon full of very valuable stuff here. So especially Lorenzo will probably need some time to get some gold into his system before he can pay us anything. I would wager at least.
It may not. It may be offloaded to different vendors. I'd have to consult with the order. We wouldn't be buying all of it entirely, I don't think. Like again, the question about that much liquid capital, no one person would have that much. But the thing is, when so much of this bounty is coming in, people will want to pay a little less for it as well, right? But first, let's see. I know the order is a safe place to keep this. At least I'm fairly confident that what happened at Lorenzo's won't happen at our chapter house. We have enough to defend it if we need to. Not that I expect it to be stolen right from under our noses. But as far as the payment, it might take a little time to arrange all the negotiations with the various shops. I don't particularly want to give Lorenzo first pick, considering what we heard from the bandit who was about to ambush us. So let's go there, talk to our elders, and see if there's a way to favorably.
They are no elders of mine.
No, but you want to get paid, don't you? I'm not recruiting you. You're just trying to make sure you get paid so you can go on your way.
Yeah, but I guess if Lorenzo is there anyway, maybe we can, and I look at Chad at this moment, play them against each other, so nobody sells us for cheap.
Oh yes, let's have a good old-fashioned auction. At the end of the day, we're one of the first back with a major load. That'll fetch a premium.
Exactly.
And I couldn't give a damn about Lorenzo hedging his bets. You know, I may have done the same.
Yeah, well, anyway,
At the end of the day, it did us all a favour. We all earn a third more now.
Well, this is the other caravans didn't really give us a third of what we had already. And I'm pretty sure we are in agreement that our comrade will get the burial and sent home as he deserves. And Escucho's Blake turns like a bit like challenging, a bit angry, like he does not want to take the share of Hersion.
Oh, I doubt a burial will come to a quarter share. Don't worry, it's gravy.
Fair enough. So. Okay. So. With that, you decide to make your way to the Order of the Grave Scribes, right? Shad has essentially hedged a bet that maybe Lorenzo might be back in business, right? And has sent over the street urchin, essentially, to fetch him and take care, right? Bring him to the Order of the Grave Scribes. And so, at the direction of Ignis, who knows the city well, but also knows where the Order of the Grave Scribes is, yeah, you make your way through the city. Despite the massive wealth that you have in the back of your wagon, it seems like you kind of go mostly unnoticed. Every now and then there's a comment on the horses, right? How like insanely big they are. Like, where the hell did you get those horses, right? You know, shit like that. But as far as like the, any suspicious looking eyes, all things seem clear. And so you make your way over to the Order of the Grey Scribes. The building stands as it always had before. And you pull the wagon into the appropriate, it probably has like some sort of a place to go ahead and, settle the horse down and all of that. And so you do so, right? You settle in the horses. The back of the wagon is full of stuff, so I'm assuming, well, I don't know. Is somebody going to stay with the wagon while somebody else heads into the building to, call the others, maybe help unload?
I mean, Ignis has to head in, so he's gonna depend on Shad and Escucha to stay with the wagon, I guess.
Well, for your faith and trust in us, Doctor.
Sure.
Shad is gonna wait until Ignis is out of view.
All right, so Ignis, you get out and you make your way into the Order, leaving both Jesus Christ, leaving both Escucho and Shad behind. So as you make your way inside, Shad and Escucho.
Oh, Escucho, I don't know if the Doctor is setting us up for something. Maybe we may want to skedaddle right now.
How wounded is Chad right now?
Oh, Shad's actually, he's got a wound, but Shad's in pretty good nick. I can see that look on your face. You're very disappointed in me, and I should be ashamed. I understand. I'll go and sit in this corner next to Hershey.
Well, I just don't think that you are very trustworthy. Like when I turn my back, I would probably face a shovel to the back of my head or something.
Oh, don't worry about that. I don't mean anyone any harm that doesn't do harm to me.
You just see Escucho doubting you. you keep lying to people and trying to get people into the trouble all the time. Chad.
Right, okay. I don't know what you
did-
mean. Would you like me to roll a deception on that?
Didn't you like didn't you give the travelers we met on the way back like some false advice about like some apples and stuff? Like this was like just about 2 hours ago, man.
Well, we all have to have our fun somewhere down the line, don't we?
You can try
you
to
get off-
roll a deception check. What?
You get off on sneaking into places. I get off on, pulling people's legs. It's all a big joke. I'm sure they'll see the funny side.
Well, right now I'm just not in the mood for joking around. So, please.
I understand. I'm very ashamed of myself. I'll just go and sit here next to Hershey and think about what I've done.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Sit-
when Chad approaches like Hershey, like Escucho like definitely like watches him, like he's like thinking he's like up to something.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. So you stop and you keep a close look on Shad in this moment. And so Ignis, as you make your way inside the Order, you head on in, and as you make your way in, things seem clear, right? You don't immediately run into anybody until, as you're kind of looking around, you finally run into the elder that specifically kind of basically blessed this excursion, right? Like, gave the funds for it, and set you all up for, made the deal to house Lorenzo. And as he's like coming around a corner, he kind of sees you and he's like, oh, kind of caught him off guard. Ignis, you have returned then. He kind of looks you up and down, and he can immediately see that you are returning in a state much worse for wear than that you had left. And like a frown will kind of cross his face. Well, at least you are standing on 2 feet. Well then, how was the trip? How was the...
It was a difficult journey. There was we faced some, but we avoided bandits, but we faced creatures, and we also met the solemn Valdiras who had knowledge to share. I'll describe those as soon as I'm able to, but the more pressing issue is we've returned with a wagon of reagents, and we're probably one of the first wagons into the city. And, well, the rest of them need to get paid, and we want to, I would say, capitalize on the time that we have before a lot more floods the city and the price goes down. Although the Lorenzo, the shopkeeper who had told to stay here,
yeah,
he may have been hedging his bets, so to speak.
Well,
some bandits were trying to sell to him as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's still here. Should I look to gather him?
Might be useful. I'd say at this point we can bring him in a little later if we need to. The thing is, we should head back to the wagon and identify how we're going to disburse funds for the reagents and pay off these. One of my members, one of the people I was traveling with, he passed away just on the way back during an encounter, and since he was part of the expedition till the end, I would request for him to be sent off to his homeland with his cut of the proceeds, and the other two are still in decent health. So
okay. Yeah, absolutely. I'll gather some of the other ones, some of the younger ones, and we'll come and help unload, and then I'll figure things out as we need. But I believe the order has enough in its coffers that they can, offer up, at least buying in bulk the what you've been able to gather, and then we'll go from there, right? So. Yeah, he'll spend the time kind of gathering some of the younger members of the Order of the Grey Scribes, and you and we say like 4 or 5 of them will all kind of make your way back out to the cart, and yeah, they'll start to approach. For Escucho and Shad, Escucho, you've been watching Shad this whole time as he's sat up near to Hercian's corpse, but this maybe this tension is kind of broken by the arrival of both Ignis and a number of the younger members of the order, as they all kind of come washing out of the house, or washing out of the building, and making their way over to the wagon.
I'd probably say Ignis is gonna wave to Shad and Escucho if you can see him, and he's just going to break from the group and come closer first before the entire group reaches, just so it looks less threatening, and say, right now they're going to, well, I'm glad to see you're both still alive and neither of you have killed each other, but we're just going to unload the wagon to the side here so they can tally the amount that was recovered, and our elders are inside. They're preparing we expect to have enough gold to cover the cost of the entire amount, but we need to tally the amount first. So you're welcome to stay here. Let them just tally it out here, and elders will be along shortly.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, before they tally out everything, be aware that some part of my chair, especially the healing reagents I would like to keep and not be converted into gold.
Fair enough. Yeah, absolutely. So you would look to keep a good portion.
Yeah, I basically want to keep all the stuff that can be used for war, has like direct applications for like field medicine and stuff like that.
Absolutely. I would say well, I guess then here's the question, right? Do you look to give up about half of it, or do you look to give up like all of it? Sorry.
Yeah, like half is fine.
Okay, so because the half that you're giving away also has that application, right? Like everything here could be used for war. So the question I'm asking you is it more important to get some gold and a lot of these reagents and herbs and components, or is it better to just have a ton of these components?
Some gold is well, the more I think about it, like some gold, but like mostly like components and
okay. So
herbs and stuff.
say like it's like a 75-25 split. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Fraternity of Kazakh like doesn't pay salaries, so I don't of limited use.
Fair enough. Okay. Shad, I would also ask, Shad, are you wanting all gold? Are you wanting to keep some of this? How does that work out with Shad as well?
Shad is looking to cash in as much as he can, but I made a point during the campaign, and I know I've just given away a pouch to get us through the gate, which the other two owe me for. But all in terms of keeping reagents, Shad just wants to keep enough back to make sort of like a perpetual component pouch.
Fair enough.
Not that he needs it, but that's all he wants to keep back. The rest of it, he just wants
like a portable pouch, like just something he can carry on his person, kind of, right?
Yeah, well, a component pouch for spells. He doesn't need it as an oracle, but it may come in handy.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah. So, absolutely, great idea. So for Shad, it's probably like a. It's probably like a 90% split, right? Like maybe 10%. And yeah, like maybe keeping 10% and offloading the vast majority to turn into coin, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. All right. So you all wait some time. It takes about an hour actually to not only unload the entire wagon, but kind of weigh everything out, ensure the quality of everything you've gathered, and make sure that it is all good. So,
and like that hour, because Scrooge wants to keep most of it actually, he would definitely try to rush his process along that the couple of herbs that he
fair enough.
Say that he said he would maybe even compromise on the price to get out of here as fast as possible.
Okay, yeah. So you're kind of pushing things along. Hey, you kind of step up maybe and even mine first, right? And you set down what you're willing to part with, while also keeping a hold of the rest. And as they kind of quickly tally up your portion of this, if you're getting rid of about 25% of this, then I'm going to say in total that'll be offered to you is 1,250 gold.
Yeah, and this seems roughly in line, correct?
Correct. Yeah. This doesn't seem like a rip-off by any means. Yeah.
Yeah, as good as you would
Perfect. Okay.
It's has Lorenzo arrived in the meantime?
No, this is just the order that is taking care of the herbs as it were. Yeah, Lorenzo has because Ignis called for Lorenzo to wait a bit before getting him involved. During all of this, it's just the younger members of the order and a few of the grave scribes themselves, the older ones.
yeah, like I think I need to wait to think for a moment. Like if Scooch would just like take the deal and like skedaddle.
Fair enough. Okay.
So I need a moment to think.
All right. So the offer on the table currently 1,250 gold.
Does Chris say anything about like as far as is Shad collecting anything at this point of his markers that Ignis owes him?
Well, I was going to wait until we've cashed in, but yeah, if there is a moment for
I'd say
Ignis to tie
at
up.
this point, while the telling's going on, Ignis is going to inspect the horses and like see which one's in a better condition. Like, you'll find him like just he's leaving the accounting to the guys who are unloading, and he wants to keep one of the horses because it's a super horse.
Yeah. Well, you paid for it, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
the
trying to,
whole
like,
wagon itself.
one of them will go back to the order. Like one of them he's just looking at to see which one he can keep as a personal mount just for himself.
Yeah, the wagon itself is also technically belongs to the order, right? Everything was purchased by order money, right?
Yeah.
So, perfect.
Well, are Ignis and Shad going to broach the marker, the IOU?
I mean, Chad has to bring up the IOU, right? Ignis is just probably focused on examining the horses right now.
Well, in that case, while Ignis is examining the horses and you know, taking great study of them, Shad's gonna walk over and say, "Oh, Doctor, I wouldn't mind having a word for you. It seems to me that you are somewhat in our debt, being, upright and walking, as it were. And I wonder if you would do me some small favour in return for such a, should we say, life-providing service."
Am I going to regret being alive? I mean, I knew you were going to call it in at some point, but
How could anybody regret being alive? And I'll be honest, the riches you're going to make today, or your order's going to make today, I don't think you'll even notice it. I want the horses in the cart.
I wanted one horse. Can you take one horse on the cart? Wait, how many horses? Is it 2 or 1?
It's 2 horses.
2 horses.
I would say with how strong these horses are, for Shad, you could probably get away with the wagon being drawn by 1 horse.
Ignis is gonna say, you can keep the cart. I can convince the order. That's minor, but I'd like one of these horses. So take 1 horse on the cart, and then we can figure out what else it is I can help you with. If there's anything else on your mind.
Okay, I tell you what, we'll strike 1 off the tally for that then. Thank you very much. We'll talk later after we've cashed in.
Right.
Perfect. So, all right. So for okay.
Carl wanted to say something, I think.
Yeah, like I think I've come to the conclusion that Escucha would probably just take the deal.
Okay. Yeah, you just take the deal.
But like it's important. Like, can I carry the rest of the herbs like by myself?
I would say with using a gold or 2, you'll be easily able to secure a way to maneuver these. I think like in total, I forgot what we did. Let's see. It should still be in the Discord itself. Where do I go? Let's see. So in okay. So yeah, it was. Let's see. So it would cost 4 gold. So it would cost you 29 gold to have a wagon and 2 horses. So you could easily get that and come back with a wagon of your own, with 2 horses of your own, and load up yourself and just head on out.
Yeah, that's like okay. I don't know if there's like in the society progress if there's like a way to just like rent a wagon. Like, don't-
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I think like renting was like half price, so like we'll just assume that it was. Yeah. I think like renting.
the way
yeah.
it worked out that because we were away for multiple days, it was worth buying it. But if you're only having it for like 2 days, I think it breaks even about 3 days or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
The thing is like, okay, so in this case, this is kind of like a big picture question: is that is Cucho traveling out? Like we're not close to the sea, so if he's trying to go somewhere to get a boat, it might just be cheaper to buy the wagon. To be honest, if we're going to like
yeah.
areas
The
we're
more
going up
I think about it, like Escucho would probably just like maybe like even like negotiate with the order if they have like another like wagon lying around that you would.
I mean, the order purchased it. Like, so if we do it in character, like Ignis would probably say, if you're looking for transportation, I can have one of our stewards or stable keepers. Like, they can help you purchase a wagon and horses. But I would say, since you're traveling with sensitive items, you might want to hire 1 or 2 guards as well, just for the duration, because the roads aren't safe, and you know how unsafe they are.
Well, first, thanks for the help and for the advice, but I do want to stay in the city for now.
It's whatever is your convenience. In that case, if you want to purchase a wagon or rent a wagon, one of our stable hands, they can help you choose. Like either maybe the order will sell it to him, or they'll find someone from the markets that can sell it to him. Something like that, I guess.
Then I will talk to them, and Escucho like leans in like to Ignis. Chad did try to like whispering like so that Chad like possibly doesn't hear. Did try to make a getaway with the car when you went in, just to you keep looking over your shoulder. But I do want to make my own time and work with that. Like Escucho would like approach like one of the stable masters and like, yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah, actually, it's probably best not to like dive into numbers and shit like that right now, right? We'll just say that, narratively speaking, you're able to secure a wagon and you're able to, take your portion of all of this and put it to good use, right? You go ahead and get that done, and before long, Escucho has essentially gotten his things and made his way on. So for Shad, looking to sell 90% of what you have, you would be given, I think it's like 90%, so it's so that would be okay. So then you would be offered 4,500 gold pieces.
Is that just from the order, or has Lorenzo had a chance to put a bid in?
That is just from the order. That's a fair price, but I guess you could attempt to negotiate
I
further.
think it's been some time, so I think at this point, would Lorenzo have been able to come to the courtyard?
Sure.
Yeah. So just
because Shad's waiting for Lorenzo anyway, because Lorenzo owes Shad a favor.
All right. So, yeah, Lorenzo would make his way out, kind of shocked to see you all, but happy nonetheless, and very happy to see the large amount of medicinal reagents and reagents and herbs on display. So,
What was the value from the order?
From the order, if you're selling 90% of it, 4,500 is the offer, with you keeping 10% in pocket for that essential perpetual pouch of components.
Yep. Gotcha. So yeah, I think at this point, Chad's the only one that's going to be possibly selling to Lorenzo, isn't he? Because Ignis is taking the deal and skedaddling.
No,
Sorry,
Scucho.
sorry,
Oh,
Escucho's
Carlos.
taking the deal and skedaddling.
Yes.
Ignis is just securing it for the order. What about Hersian?
He's dead.
Christians is
Well,
dead.
yes, but his share. Who decides?
Yeah, that was something that wasn't necessarily figured
Yeah.
out. I think Ignis said like the honorable thing is to at least pay
Like,
for
make
his
sure- 'cause
passage back.
pay for his passage back and find someone to like find a family member or somebody from his clan to take it.
Yeah, but
Because it
that's
would be, but that's going to be very difficult because without sending someone along with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a task.
Well, I think I'll be leaving soon enough myself, and I believe the best way to honor his memory would be to get the best deal possible. So I think, so I vote that we should put Persian's share, like my own, out to auction between the two parties.
Auction with Lorenzo.
Well, we'll give your order a chance to match Lorenzo's bid or beat it.
I mean, if Lorenzo can get that volume of gold here right now,
Well,
that's the question.
let's see what he can do.
Yeah,
He's a
we'll find
slippery
out.
fish.
So are
Um,
you.
Let's
So are
see.
you, my friends. So, as someone who appreciates this, understand that the order is paying you now. Lorenzo, I'm not sure he can get you what he's promising right away.
So
The
He
shops
hasn't
haven't
had a chance to
looking
promise
either.
anything yet.
yeah, so in discussion, right? As Lorenzo makes his way out, and you're having this discussion, looking, to see what could be done about these herbs. Yeah, so Lorenzo is going to essentially promise you double what you could get, but it would take much time. It would have to be a slow. He explains it to you. You could get up to for your share, 10,000 gold, right? And that would be all yours, but it can't come all at once, right? It has to be a slow thing. We have to control the market. We have enough here that when the others get back, right? Because there's going to be others, and this is a business plan pitch that he kind of goes into. He will double the cost of whatever you have, but it will take 6 months.
Oh, that's a shame, Lorenzo. I had high hopes to work together with you on this, but that ain't gonna cut for shit.
What about 3 times then? He kind of promises you 15,000.
Yeah, I'm gonna be out of here in the next 24 hours.
Okay. Well, he kind of says that. I guess I would give Escucho a chance, right? Would Escucho take, a 6-month deal with a slow payments, in 6 months, if it's essentially 5,000 now or 1,250 now, it could be 2,500, but it would basically be like 500 gold a month for until it's paid up.
Escucho probably has like big plans for the next couple of months.
Yeah.
So, like, he may not be able to like really stay in the city for long.
Fair enough. Yeah, once those
Completes
plans
his
start
plans.
once those plans start to get underway, absolutely.
He will probably be one of the most like wanted men in the city. So yeah. Like by the way, like I've like settled my like wagon. I am looking to leave, or like in what state am I right now?
You can decide. Have you said your goodbyes? Are you gonna say your goodbyes? How does that work?
Yeah, I want to be like ready to leave.
Okay,
Like,
perfect. Yeah, so you're on the wagon.
right now, but I'm like still staying because like with like Hersian's share and stuff like that. Like that's like
Yeah,
still
it's
something I have to
still
like
up in
pitch.
the air on how to figure it out.
Ignis would propose one thing. He would say, he can kind of see that it's not going the way Lorenzo kind of wants. So what he's gonna say is, since we're trying to get this deal sorted now, for Hersian's share, and Shad, you're probably going to cash out now. That's fine. That'll be arranged. For Hersian's share, what we could do is because at this point he did the work, but he died before he could get here. So we release the amount that's necessary to move his body back to his home, and the remainder we can keep in trust with us or with. I'd have to consult my elders until someone can claim it on his behalf, because again, he did work for it, and we don't want to deprive someone of what they earned.
Fair enough.
Ignis, would it be like possible for me or for Chad to check in on his share from time to time? It's not like I don't trust the order, but I don't trust the order. I don't know you guys, I'm sorry.
That's entirely fair, I would say.
As long as like this can be arranged some way. So I do want to make sure that we honor our fallen comrade in arms. Like, every comrade fallen is
I would say in that case, I'm going to arrange with the order to keep his share here and protected. It won't be. I'll request it. I think I'm hopeful that can be arranged, and either of you are perfectly welcome to check in on it at your leisure. I would say we'd have to drop a contract, probably, and I would ask, since we're a bit closer to him than either of us, I would say, if you find time, would you be able to search for someone, a relative of his, who could take it?
Well, Doctor, I have already said I intend to leave the city, and I don't mind travelling along with Hercian's body. I will take him home. You have my word on that.
I owe you my life, but I distrust your shovel. So, no.
I swear on my precious shovel here. You know, may fire strike it down and destroy it. If I lie to you.
So just buy a new shovel.
It's a family heirloom. I've had it for several weeks.
It wasn't your family, was it?
Yeah.
Ignis is just gonna like.
Years.
Ignis is gonna hold up his hands and go, you know what? My responsibility is to make sure his body gets to his homeland safely. Of course, I can't do that myself, and if you fail in that duty, the burden is on you. It is no longer on me. And you're gonna look at like between Chad and Escucho, and again, between the two of you, whoever is more capable of discharging this duty, you are welcome to.
Chad is going to be nodding very fervently. Oh yes, I'm entirely capable of making sure that his body is propelled along to the place it needs to go.
It's a very specific choice of words, I notice.
I just want you to understand the fervor and dedication I am going to have to this task.
Well, Ignis, while I would love to escort Hercian home, I do believe that we are striding into very busy times in the future. So I can't, with good conscience, say that I would complete this task in a timely manner. Although should the need arise, I would see it done. But the future's full of hope and uncertainty right now. Which gazes off into the distance.
It's looking like the volunteer pool is rapidly diminishing. I'll tell you what, I'll let you have a think about it while I have a quick word with Lorenzo.
You have a word with Lorenzo. I think we can't hold on to a dead body, so
Okay.
if Escucho is busy, then you're welcome to.
I've got the cart and everything. He's already loaded.
He's already loaded, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yes, of course.
But the funds stay with the order, right? until somebody of
I'd say like I'm sure on somewhere on Herstein's body there'd be something that like some kind of identifying paper or something like that. So just use that as a like his name and clan or whatever. If they can prove that they're from his clan or something, then they'll be able to make a claim for it.
I don't
I'm gonna do some
I don't know if that's
expression
ever
money.
coming. Yeah.
Look, there's travelling expenses. It's not going to be cheap getting him there. There's places to sleep. There's equipment that might be needed. You probably need embalming, or he'll go all runny, and we don't want that.
So after all of this, Ignis is going to say, so Escucha's still here, right? He hasn't gone. So
Yeah.
he's still, so...
Yeah.
As this part winds down, he's going to say, the last alternative is, of course, we split his share. I was going to wait for the other two to say yes or no.
You know what, Doctor? That's the most sensible thing you've said today. And I, hand on my heart, and he's going to put his hand on his shoulder, will honestly use that money toward helping Herstian find his final resting place.
Well, if the order would keep his part safe, we could just use some of this part to hire somebody to get him home. Or we can even hire Chad, and Escucha says with a bit of disgust, to get him home, and when he returns with one of his tribesmen, then he could get paid the appropriate amount. Like, it doesn't sit right with me to deprive a comrade of mine of his dying wish, as he bled in your arms, Chad. And now you're squabbling about some petty gold, when the time of the hungering stars upon us will all not matter anyway. Better to keep your conscience clean.
Fair enough.
So I am against splitting his share that way.
Well, that's fine with me.
So, Ignis, if you agree with that, we could just hire Chad, even for generous compensation. I don't care if a part of Herstian's share gets stepped away. Even if your order needs some money to ensure the safekeeping, I don't mind as well. But I do believe that he should make it home.
All right. So in this case, let's see, the way that works to keep everyone happy, I would say in this case is, let's say, whatever the total amount comes to, out of that, we portion out a nominal amount to Shad to ensure that Herstian's body is returned. And once we have proof of that, and if there's a claimant, we can arrange for disbursement to them. In the meantime, to keep the gold with us, there may be a small commission that's taken, but it will be nominal, hopefully. So, would you be okay to work for a salary, Shad? This is going to ask.
Well, the only problem with this, Doctor, is once I leave, I have absolutely no intention of ever coming back here again.
Well, then I'm sure that we will find somebody else who is willing to step on the Dragon Isles for a couple hundred gold. But thanks for your voluntary service, Chad. Your offer is much appreciated.
Oh, very well, if that's the way it is. You can
And
keep
Ignis,
the step on ice.
And Ignis, I don't mind your order taking some amount to keep this part safe. There is some consideration that need to be had there as well. So I am in agreement with that.
I think everyone's moving on their own time, so in this case, we'll keep it here for the time being. If someone comes, if
Find
a
somebody
clan
to
member,
sell.
Yeah, if a clan member of his comes, I would say I don't need you to travel to the Dragon Isles, but if you, for both of you, if you find anyone who's from there or would know someone from there in your subsequent travels, send them over here, and once their identity is verified, we can provide this to his clan for their betterment.
All right.
Make sure everything's above board.
Perfect. So, in the meantime, you'll be on the lookout for somebody trustworthy enough that you could possibly pay to, handle this service, right? As far as getting the body back to the Isles. In the meantime, though, you'll hold on to the body, and if somebody of the clan or whatever comes by, they may make a claim to it if they have the appropriate things. Okay. So yeah. And Hercian's share would also be 5,000 gold pieces in total, which could easily, if you would like to, as far as sorry, so yeah, 5,000. You could easily, if the order put their intentions to it, they could probably find somebody who would be more than happy to take it and look to deliver the body back to the Isles. But maybe that would take some maybe it would take a little bit, so who knows. In any case, that is
that
done.
could be like a long-term goal kind of thing, like
like a more long-term goal.
Find someone, pay someone like a few hundred, like not like few, like 15-20 silvers to find someone, and then like maybe a commission to actually deliver the body and find someone from his clan and bring them over to verify, and then get the gold over. That'll be probably like something that'll take a little time to do, maybe. I don't know.
Perfect. Okay. So yeah, in the meantime, that'll be done. So I would say, as far as the attempt to see if Lorenzo could potentially buy much now, Lorenzo is essentially, he is, yeah. He is basically fully broke. He would actually have to take what you offer on consignment and essentially pay you back whenever it's sold, right? So obviously if you did do that, he would be able to give you, at least his promises is that he would be able to give you double the amount, possibly up to triple the amount that you're being offered by the order, but it would take a long time to do it.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, so yeah, not signing anything over.
Yeah.
No,
If you're like if you're like finished with like the discussion about like Hercian, like I think like Ignis, not Ignis, Escrucio, would not like stay around for much longer actually.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah. With
Like he doesn't want like Lorenzo to have the time to gather some thugs or something to do for him.
fair enough. Yeah, absolutely. You wouldn't stick around. So yeah, with the business of Hercian taken care of, Escucho, you say your goodbyes to the group and make your way on.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, is there any last words as you part, or is it a simple, pleasure doing business? See you next time.
It will be something more along. Just remember when the hungering star hangs up in the sky again, and his time comes, that you will have a friend with the roses. Escucho, yeah. These are his parting words.
Perfect. Okay. Shad.
Shall call back. Well, best of luck to you, and I wish you the very best. It's going to be very interesting when that Pale Queen person turns up. She was looking quite well. Well, good seeing you, and I'll see you around.
Okay. So with the business, the money, the large amounts of gold that has been transferred here. Wagons bought, horses taken care of. Each of you all settled in the various ways that you would be settled. So it is with a final word, essentially. Shad, Escucho has made his departure, right? Saying goodbye to both Ignis and Shad, continuing on their own way. Shad, it seems that you are the next to leave. So, as you ready your wagon, unfortunately having to pull the body of Hercian off, having to leave it behind. In any case, though, you have a good portion of the herbs and reagents stashed in the back. You have a very nice tent, and you have a number of we'll say at this point, probably with the amount of old gold that was offered, you probably have a decent sized chest of gold. And so with the two, did you take both? Was the deal that you took both horses and the wagon, or was it one horse and the wagon?
No, one horse and the wagon.
He agreed to take one horse.
Perfect. So you ready up the horse. You've got the wagon set. So any parting words as you make your leave, Shad?
Shad still wants to call in the favor with Lorenzo, but it's more he just wants to know where he can find something in the city before he leaves.
Oh, fair enough. What would Shad be looking for?
Shad is cashing in the favor from when he gave him that pouch back that he didn't have to.
Yes.
He wants to know where he can buy the basic bag of holding within the city.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That could be gotten a hold of. Bag of holding. So the basic, the lowest tier 1, correctly?
Yes. Yes. Tier 1.
Type 1, I believe. 25 bulk in total. So that would be 75 gold, and you'd be able to make purchase of it in a back alley deal, right?
Okay. There is a second magic item that he wants to do on that deal, but I don't know if you want to come back to that after Ignis has had his parting words.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll come back to it.
Okay. And then the final one is, okay, Doctor, it's been an experience traveling with you, so it has. I'll go easy on the final favor you owe me. Yeah? If anybody asks, I'm heading east. And that's all you need to say. I'm going home.
You expect somebody to call on? You expect somebody to call on us to inquire on your whereabouts?
I'm just saying, it could happen. And you're such an honourable fellow. I expect you'll be torn, but
I
consider it
expect
us
to
even.
conveniently forget, is what I expect. But certainly, you're headed east, or I don't know where you're headed.
East would be better.
East. All right. East.
Well,
And we're square. We're square at this. You're just gonna be like, he's suspicious. Like, that's it.
we certainly are, Doctor. I think that'll be fine. Best of luck to you. So long. And he's gonna trot off with his horse and cart to do his deal.
Okay, absolutely. So, making your way as well. And Ignis, your portion, whether it be direct donation, but at the very least, you've done an amazing deed for the order, and as such, you have been given much favor and renown within the order of the grave scribes themselves. And so, upon doing so, you'd have access to the order's funds as required, right? Can't go too crazy with it, but you'd have it available to you when the time comes. And also, yeah, you have earned a favored place within the order itself as one of the, not an elder, but definitely one of the commanders, I guess you could say, within the Order of the Grave Scribes. So, with all of that, each of you with your own ambitions in mind, whether that be reigniting a war of the past, bringing back together comrades and believers to, you know, reignite the battle in the name of faith and belief, whether that be for Shad, making your way, continuing to run from a past that is not too far behind you. Put as much space between you and it, while also trying to figure out your place in the world with the discoveries you've made on this trip, the now vast amount of gold that you have at your essentially at your disclosure. And so, each of you heading your own way. The story between you all finished now, but many stories remaining to be told in the future. I think then this is probably a great place to settle off. And Jesus Christ, dude. He just sent me the fucking magic out of me once. Oh, come
on, that's hysterically funny.
Yeah, all right. Indeed then, each of you heading off on your own paths. This recent one, just a chapter in a book of each of your characters' lives and what may play out in the soon to be future. And so I think it's a good place to end this campaign. I appreciate you all for playing. It's been very fun. And I'm going to go ahead and sign on the stream and everything, so I'll be back in just a few moments. But yeah, thank you all, guys. Just 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, so I think then that is the end of our Tuesday campaign. The characters made it back home. They were able to cash in on the great amount of wealth, and each with their own plans for the future and intentions on what is to come. Yeah, it's a great place. So thank you all for watching and hanging out. I hope you all enjoyed. If you'd like to get involved, you'd like to possibly be involved in the next series of campaigns, the best place to be is the Discord, as that is the place I reach out first whenever I am recruiting for the next cycle of games. So highly recommend you be in there if you'd like to get involved. If not, completely understanding. If anything, we'll be back tomorrow evening with the finale of our Wednesday campaign as well. And so we'll see where that reaches, or where that gets us. So thank you all for hanging out. I hope you have a good day or a good evening, depending on where you are in the world. And maybe we'll see you next time. If not, maybe we'll see you when we see you. So thank you, everybody. Have a good one. Peace.